All right, today we are going to demystify the entire postgraduate research process. So if you're about to jump into a master's or a PhD, think of this as your personal blueprint for success. We're going to break down everything from the core research methods all the way to the crucial art of academic writing.
You know, starting a postgraduate degree can honestly feel like you're standing at the bottom of a huge mountain looking up. The academic language feels new, the expectations are totally different, and just the size of a thesis can seem, well, pretty daunting. If that's how you're feeling right now, trust me, you are not alone.
But here's the good news. You are not climbing this mountain without a map. We're going to build your roadmap together, right now, walking through the whole process step by step. The idea here is to give you the structure and the confidence you need to not just finish your project, but to produce really high-quality professional work you can be proud of. So, where do we begin this journey? Well, the very first step is just admitting that academic research kind of operates in its own little world. It has this formal, structured language that's very different from how we talk every day. And like any other specialized skill, it's something you have to learn.
So look, it is perfectly normal if terms like methodology or literature review feel a bit strange right now. The main thing to get your head around is that this is a systematic process. It has rules, it has clear steps, and once you understand that structure, the whole journey becomes a lot clearer.
Okay, so how do we tackle this systematically? With a blueprint. And I really can't stress this enough. A good plan is the absolute key to success. You are going to run into problems and challenges. That's just part of research. But having a solid plan is what lets you solve them efficiently instead of just getting lost. You can actually break this whole process down into 4 core steps. It all starts with a solid plan. That's what makes you efficient. Next, you collect your data, and believe me, the quality of your sources here is critical. After that, you have to analyze that data using the right methods to get clear conclusions. And finally, you report your findings in a professional way. Just think of these 4 steps as a chain. Your final project is only ever as strong as the weakest link.
Right, so you've got your 4-step plan in mind, but inside that plan, you have a really big choice to make pretty early on. Broadly speaking, scientific research is split into 2 main categories, 2 fundamental paths you can take, quantitative and qualitative.
And this is a huge decision, probably one of the most important ones you'll make at the start, because it shapes your entire project. The right choice depends completely on the question you're trying to answer. So let's really think about it. Which of these paths is the right fit for your research?
The easiest way to think about this is like 2 different worlds. Quantitative research, that's the world of numbers. It's all about measurable, statistical info that tries to make facts objective. On the other hand, qualitative research is the world of words. It uses things like interviews and observations to really understand perceptions and meaning in a more holistic way.
But you know, these differences go way deeper than just numbers versus words. Their core assumptions about reality are totally different. One sees it as objective, the other as subjective. Their purpose is different too. One wants to generalize findings, while the other wants to describe things in rich detail. Even their approach is the opposite. Quantitative starts with a hypothesis to test, while qualitative often ends by creating a new theory from the data. And that even changes the researcher's role, from a detached observer to an empathetic participant.
You know what? Here is a super simple but really powerful way to remember the difference. Just look at the kinds of questions each path asks. Quantitative research asks, how many or how often? It's looking for numbers. But qualitative research asks, why or how? It's looking for descriptive answers in sentences, not in stats.
So, you've picked a path, you've collected and analyzed all your data, and you've got your results. Awesome. But the journey is not over yet. Now you have to communicate all those findings. And that brings us to the absolutely essential skill of formal academic writing. So what exactly is academic writing? Well, it's basically the formal style you see in universities and scientific journals, and it's governed by a very specific set of rules. Now, these rules aren't just there to be difficult. Their whole purpose is to make sure that complex information is communicated with as much clarity, accuracy, and efficiency as possible.
So here's what that looks like in practice. Your writing should always be formal, unbiased, and clearly structured, always built on a foundation of solid evidence. And what it should never be is personal, emotional, or based on your own opinion. The goal here is objectivity, not a casual chat full of slang.
Okay, let's finish up with some essential actionable tips you can use right away. Think of this as your final checklist for making sure you produce professional-grade academic work that meets those high standards you'll find at the postgraduate level.
All right, let's quickly run through these rules of the road. First, always start with your university's official writing guide. That thing is your Bible. Next, avoid plagiarism at all costs by explaining ideas in your own words. Keep things objective by writing in the third person. Plan your paper with an outline and a timeline. Good time management is a lifesaver. And finally, make sure every single argument you make is built on a foundation of reliable, high-quality sources.
So, there you have it. The world of postgraduate research. It's not some trackless wilderness. It's a structured journey with clear paths and established rules. You've got the blueprint, you've got the roadmap, and you have the key principles for success. So the only real question left is, where are you going to begin your exploration?